Hey guys, welcome back to another episode, part 9. Today we're going to do a little bit of subflooring. Here I've got a piece of Dricore. It's from Home Depot. They're like $8 or $9 a sheet or something like that, and they're 2x2s, which is nice. They have like a R2 point something value rating for insulation, and then they've got something you can put your flooring on, your laminate flooring on, which is kind of nice. Instead of just putting it on the bare cement and then having water run under it, this has channels and grooves that the water could be diverted away from your precious flooring. So if any chance that there is a little bit of water that seeps in through the cement, hopefully it won't damage everything. Apparently your house can absorb a little bit of water and then eventually just evaporate it without it causing a lot of mold issues. But eventually, if you do have a lot of water, you want to have that taken care of. But this will help you save a lot of your flooring from getting damaged if there is a little bit of water. We're going to put our radiant floor heating in on top of it, and we'll get this done and show you how it's done. Pretty easily to do. It's just skill saw, circular saw, or whatever you want to call it. Zip it down, use the jigsaw or a reciprocating saw or any type of saw you have to make your sophisticated cuts, your circles and things like that. But the majority of the time you'll just use your circular saw or skill saw or whatever you want to call it. So let's get started. All right. One thing to note with Dricore is you always want to start with the tongue part, because it is tongue and groove. Is you'll want to start with this in the corner and then you'll work yourself into. And I'm not sure exactly why, but it's probably something to do with having your 2x4 against this piece when you're putting it together. There's more surface space for this 2x4 to sit against, so when you're putting them together it doesn't damage the board, which is why I use the 2x4 to spread out the weight. The impact of the hammer when you're installing these sheets, or whatever you want to call these. So orient it the right way, and that's where it's gonna be. So I did make a mistake. I should have cut that board, this one here, probably like here, and then I should have installed this sheet starting from here over, thus giving me an overlap on here, which I've done over here and here. This one is going to be covered up by toilet and a vanity, so it's not going to be such a huge deal. There is a 2-inch overlap, so it's not a big deal, but it's just something to be aware of if you're starting out this project. You'll want to checkerboard them or whatever you like. Start with a full sheet and then cut the next one in half, slide it over, and then full sheet, half sheet, full sheet, and then it should work out really nice. And that's the correct way to do it per the instructions, if you were to read the instructions on how to install these. Anyways, so I'm gonna mark 18 and 7/8, so I'm gonna cut it so that I have a little bit of space to shove this in the wall. So 18 and 3/4, slightly under. So I'm gonna take the inside of this groove, not the outside of the tongue, the inside, and then just move yourself in 18 and 3/4. Mark yourself 2 spots. Now you got your 2 spots. Move that out of the way. Now I'm going to use this 2x4 as my straight edge. You can use a square, you can use whatever is handy. I'm using this as my block and my straight edge. Just going to mark it out. Going to mark out this bad boy. So we've got 1 and 3/8. 1 3/8. So we're just gonna mark 1 3/8. Easiest way to do this is going from the center, like so. 2 and 3/8. 6 and 13/16. I'm just gonna use this bad boy here. Get it off. Mark out my circle. I'll cut this out. I'll be right back. Might take a little bit of a finagle, but you just gotta wiggle it in there. And once you get that tongue in that groove, then you've gotta wedge this piece in here. Now all this will be covered up with a nice fancy trim. So if you damage the bottom of this drywall, it's fine. Move this one a little closer. There. Nice and tight. This spot's a little high, but that's good. There's no high spots, so when the toilet sits in, there'll be a nice seal and there won't be any rocking. I'm happy with this. I was afraid I would have to put in a little bit of... These are little sheets you can use. And as you can see, I am using some. My hammer. Wiggle it in there. Good enough for me. I did not plan this out. So let's see if one full sheet sits in here. Nope, it does not. Oh, it's close. Coin can always help. Okay, 20 inches. Wiggle the tongue in first. Get it nice and straight. Give it a little gentle persuasion. Perfect. Grab your long one. Hopefully you guys can see this. Just give her a couple bangs. Looks good to me. I'm gonna just tuck it in a little bit. A little bit of wobble right there. Just gonna grab on shim. Yeah, she'll slip right there. Just grab another one. Yep. Make sure everything's nice and clean. This will be the last time you see this cement. Okay, next piece. This is where it's gonna get fun.
I'll be rolling like it like this. Not fucking science, cause I'm a whiz kid. On the night out, I'm on the high cloud. Shooting stars with the crowd, sun's down. I'll be rolling, I like it like this. Not fucking science, cause I'm a whiz kid. It's fire, fires of the galaxy up in this. I'll be rolling like it like this. Not fucking science, cause I'm a whiz kid. It's fire. Just a dog,
Alright, so if you can get in one spot, you start at that one spot and then just slide it over. And get the last spot. And she's in. We'll get the last piece in the door. So one thing to note, since I'm going to be doing the exact same thing on the other side in the hallway, I'm going to end it just under the doorway, or just somewhere in here anyways. Not a big deal. And then I'm going to start on the other order over there by the stairs and then work myself this way, and then that way when I get to this spot, this will be like one of the last spots we get done. Because I want to there's like some finagle. I think it'll just be easier to start my way from that side and work myself this way instead of trying to continue from this location on that way and having to backtrack over to around that corner. I think it'll just be easier to work myself from that corner this way because there's also another corner that way. Get it all tied up, bunched up and ready to go. Put you on a time lapse and we'll see you in a sec.
In a hour, do some archbishop. Been a school them from when me in a car shot. Liverpool couldn't test the way me raw sit up quick draw. Him drop and can't get up, him not fast enough for my problem that you never solve. Send for the down race for a firestorm, cause I turn into a monster. Ready for the war, better with your flag. None of them boy, they no bad. None of them boy, they no bad. Bad pants in power to some archbishop. Them no bad. School them from me in a darkish. Them no bad. Fool couldn't test the way me raw sit up the drop. If I can't beat up, no fast enough for my Bible that you never solve. Send for the damn grace for your fire storm, cause I turn into a monster. Ready for the war, better with your fuck. None of them boy, they no bad. When me walk, left a mark, young gog on a regular. Me say them hardly ready. Them a new type of artillery. We are bust and not.
Well, that's all, folks. The floor is done in the bathroom. We are going to move on to the hallway floor, get that done. But the next episode, I'm going to show you how to frame out the window that we're going to install in the next few days. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Remember to check previous episodes here and to subscribe to my channel here. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you guys later. That's all, folks. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day.